Hey, welcome back everybody to the Holodeck, and we're taking a step in a different direction. Not science fiction, but 60s themed, slightly tangentially related to TOS. We decided it was high time, someone decided, Stars decided, it's high time we watch some classic 1966 Batman. Stars, for your choice for the Holodeck, because Andromeda was my choice, Twilight Zone was Auto's choice, why was your choice Batman?
So I've wanted an excuse to watch this series for years. Like, I imagine if I broached the subject with my partner, that he would have been more than happy to go through it, because he loves like comic book media and stuff like that. But I think that this is also a very different project to what we've done before, because Andromeda, as much as we make fun of it, is not an intentional comedy.
They try.
They try. All the jokes that land are the ones that aren't jokes. And I thought, okay, how does our format translate over to a comedy? And also, I just kind of want to sit around and watch like silly 60s camp with my friends. Yeah. I feel like that's probably a slightly self-indulgent reason to do a thing, but I don't know. It's what I wanted to do. And it's also really interesting doing this now, because Batman has such a reputation for being so serious, for being just so the darkest. Yeah, especially since 2008, right? And I kind of want to roll it back and just go because there's a lot of stuff in here that actually influenced the comics rather than the other way around, which is I think is be an interesting conversation, but mostly for me because I love my comic book bullshit. But guess what? We're mostly just here to watch a load of like men in tights, like a punch a load of goons and have a lot of onomatopoeia appear on screen.
By the way, we might start a wrestling podcast around the time of WrestleMania. Speaking of men in tights, but
you know what? I'm down. I'm down for that. There's some intersection there as well, but we'll get into that. So I am ostensibly going to be kind of the host for this series because this was my idea, my choice. So. Idle, for the first time in a very long time, you'll get to say professionalism if I screw something up.
Yay! But I'm too nice to you to do that because I'm a real friend.
No. You are too nice. You are too nice. You have moments of niceness within you. So I have plenty of behind the scenes trivia, but I think we should get into that after we've just we would need to do our watch along.
We do.
And I kind of want to just dive straight in, but do we want to do pre-ratings?
Oh, we got to do pre-ratings.
Do we have a trailer for this?
We don't. No. The only trailer I could find was a generic one. I wondered if you had the episode description we could go through.
I did have. Let me just bring that back up because I was looking through my IMDb.
So for the first time, we're doing the Holodeck live. Usually we record these, so anyone that wants to join us can join us.
The Riddler manipulates Batman, tricking him into breaking the law. While in a discotheque, Batman falls for the molehill mob Molly. Robin is delivered into the hands of the Riddler. I don't even know what's going on. I just read the thing and I don't know what's happening.
That sounds amazing.
While in a discotheque, Batman falls for the molehill mob Molly. Robin is delivered into the hands of the Riddler.
This sounds incredible already.
I think we might have to get to 10.
I want to go back. It's gonna be really hard to pre-rate these. I want to go back to when I first started watching Batman 1966, like when it was on television, old school. We had 3 or 4 channels and you had Batman on there. I remember watching it when I was a kid and went, "Oh yeah, that's Batman." Blah blah blah. Thinking it was like a serious but crap show, and then going back to watch some of it about 5 or 6 years ago and watching it going, "Oh no, this is really intentionally a comedy," which is such a wild turn because. I don't know what the comics were like. Stars, you can probably talk more about what Batman was like in the comics in the 60s. Was he as dark? Because that was Frank Miller that kind of turned him into the dark protagonist.
Yeah, so Batman has a really interesting trajectory where if you go back and read the original stories, the famous no-kill rule does not exist. He uses guns. He's basically just kind of like an XP of like the Shadow or like various kind of pulp heroes. And a lot of the other elements that become iconic to him, especially Robin, start to filter in as time went on. But I don't know if you're familiar with like Golden Age comics, like 50s, like Superman, stuff like that. They are so goofy. That's where you get stuff like Rainbow Kryptonite and like Just the amount of dumb comic covers I could throw at you, and you just go, "What am I looking at?" Like, yeah, what if Superman became fat? What if like Superman and Batman wanted to kill Robin and in Crypto? You know, like the Crypto dog. It's like, and it's like making them dig their own graves. And it's like, what? Why am I? What is this?
What?
The intention was just like, we want to get you reading this comic. We'll put anything on the cover. And then they would just write whatever old bullshit would work. So this is a lot more in line with what the comics were actually like at the time. Like, they were still a bit more serious than I think this series goes for, but you actually saw a strong reaction to this series, and that's what kind of prompted the big like Neil Adams 1970s Batman, which kind of pushed into the Frank Miller-y, darker noir elements, and that kind of continued, and then the 90s happened, and the 90s were all about the grim dark edge, and that's kind of where it settled. So this is a very kind of special moment in Batman's history where both the comics and the series were very in tune, and then the comics started to change in reaction because people were like, Batman's more serious than this. I remember back in the good old days in the 40s. But yeah, the comics are very, very goofy. Anyone who tries to tell you that a man dressing up like a bat to fight crime is not intrinsically goofy is lying to you.
It is incredible how like they've sorry to occupy this with just general Batman talk, but like, you know, it's incredible how like they've basically taken like the concept, oh yeah, this man, he dresses up as a bat, into actually quite a serious, oh yeah, he, you know, depending on what interpretation you read, he fell down. The bats were kind of inspiration because his you know, he wants to instill fear into his enemies, and it happens to be on a bat nest that lives underground underneath this mansion he lives at. It's Batman's such a wildly interesting character now, but back then, yeah, it's just a guy in a silly bat suit.
Yeah, it's basically just a noir version of like a vigilante, you know, who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men, you know, just like the Shadow knows. That kind of like thing, but a lot of those elements like got added later. I think Robin only got added in like 1943-ish, I think. Like relatively early, but also a lot later than you kind of think.
And the films still don't want to touch Batman and Robin.
Well, after, you know, Chris O'Donnell and
hey, I will defend that film. That is in Commando for my top 10 campy films. Like, that is Batman and Robin is excellent film.
It's more in line with this than anything
really
else.
Is. That's great.
Yeah.
Also, what about you and Batman? Have you had a tumultuous history with reading Batman, or is this like a complete unknown area for you because you spent so many years watching Star Trek on the floor of your dad's office?
Yeah, I was pretty locked in on a few series, and this is not one of them. I'm not a big superhero guy. All I've seen of Batman are Bale's Batmans, which I did enjoy, but I like the serious stuff. So I like Craig's Bond a little more than most of the other Bonds. I did like Bale's Batman. I'm not a big 60s camp guy either. I guess you can grandfather in Star Trek because I did grow up with that. But outside of that, it's kind of, it's not something. I'd probably flip the channel if I was on TV. So I'm going to, you know, if we can jump ahead to the pre-ratings, I'll go first and score this one pretty low. I'm going to start with a 4. I do think you can't endure for any stretch if you don't have a good Genesis. And I think this will be a good Genesis. I don't know if it's for me though. So my personal rating is going to be a 4 shark bat repellent sprays out of 10.
Yeah, no, one of you guys, you'll have to be watching out for something in the series. That's on you.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's one of you guys is like your authority. You can deal with that. Idle, what about you? What's your pre-rating? Because you have a bit more context of this.
I do. I know I'm in for a campy time. It depends on the scale of like, because obviously when this was filmed, it wasn't intentionally like, oh, this is going to be a humorous jape. It was intended to be like some good primetime family entertainment. It depends on how much they linger on like the story. I'm interested. I'm going to go with a cautious 7. The forbidden rating of just general apathy. I think I'm going to enjoy it.
7's not apathy.
I don't know. I feel like it is. I feel like 5 is like I'm 2 middle of the road.
5 apathy. 5 is milquetoast.
Okay, I'm apathetic but optimistic that I'm going to enjoy myself. I feel like I'm gonna. Okay. I'm gonna find something in this that I'll like. So.
All right. I have no context for what this is going to be like. I've never watched an episode of this all the way through. This is part of the reason why I want to do it. So I also know if I want to continue it on my own or if we want to keep on going with it. Depends on like our tastes.
What other Batman have you seen, Stars?
So I've seen I've read plenty of the comics. I've watched plenty of the cartoons, like the 90s TAS, The Batman, which was really, really good. I've seen bits from Batman the Brave and the Bold, which is quite a lot of fun. I've obviously watched Keaton's, I've watched Val Kilmer, I've watched George Clooney for my sins, Bale, and Pattinson. I also have unfortunately watched the Affleck Batman, which that sure is a guy in a bat suit. So I feel like between me and Lyle, I think we've got this pretty squarely covered. I'm kind of interested in your perspective on this, Otto, as someone who can take a step back and go, this is all very, very silly. Just do a little Lee Python. It's all very silly. It is a silly place. So I have no context for the general quality of this.
I'd be interested, because I don't know how many episodes of this we're doing, but I'd love to kind of cap it off with Batman and Robin. Now you've mentioned that actually is quite in line with this. That could be quite...
That's viable.
Yeah,
that could be a lot of fun. Yeah. So I'm going to go with a cautious, I feel apropos is the word I want to use. 6.66 for 1960.
Wow.
The number of the beast. Yeah. All right. Shall we start this up?
Spool up your VHS tapes. Would it have been VHS tapes?
Yeah. VHS tapes. I don't know where. There's probably a DVD set. I don't know if this is streaming anywhere. Is this
probably on Amazon Prime,
on
usually.
Amazon Prime, something like that. If
your Blu-rays.
Yeah. Obviously, time code will be on screen, so catch up if you can. We're going to start episode
Apple
1.
TV, Sling TV Max, YouTube, Hulu,
okay,
Fandango, and Amazon Prime. So it's on a lot of...
That's pretty good.
Okay, good.
Okay, let's kick it off. We are going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, Batman.
Okay, there's some 60s stock footage.
It's like an instructional video or a PSA video.
So you've got your batarang stuck up your ass again.
Have we got subtitles?
We do. We should do.
Oh, good.
Fewer hats than I would have expected.
Yeah, no, that was kind of the thing of the 60s. Oh, there you go. There's a bit more.
Where are we? Oh, we're at Gotham World Fair. Okay, but where is this really?
Allegedly, I've never seen a.
Wait, what? We've moved already.
Oh, it's Willy Wonka. Of the World Fair. It's part of the World Fair.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. This is the nicest Gotham City I've ever seen in my entire life.
Friendship luncheon.
The friendship luncheon.
Moldavia.
Oh.
Yes, Moldavia doesn't exist anymore.
It no longer exists.
Became part of Serbo-Croatia or something.
Okay. Oh boy.
Wow. That's a cake.
God. That is an Uncle Sam.
You ever seen any of those fondant hate Reddits, subreddits?
Up for you.
Whoa.
That's a spicy meatball.
What?
Oh, look at that camera work.
That's good.
Yeah, no, that's actually really good. That little crane shot. Why isn't Aura?
Oh, good cutaway.
That's good, actually, yeah.
On the left.
No. Prince of Puzzlers.
How many room full of shameful police officers?
Yeah.
I love
it's in one of those cake things, you know, where
you... Yeah. It's actually just a cake. You just cut it and then Batman appears.
It's time for President Man.
And then the phone explodes and another little thing falls from the ceiling.
Hey, Alfred.
Wow.
Wow, okay, he's in. He's locked.
Man, young Adam West.
Oh, wow.
Dastard.
Subtle.
I took fish grace and dicking.
Yeah, that sounds swell.
Gee whiz, I'm going to go
Harriet?
skateboarding tomorrow. What's
Yeah, a
Alfred
little
looking
bit.
at Harriet like that for?
Well, you know why.
How did he hear that? All right, okay.
Oh, very good.
like
Are
the
they have
instructions.
labeled poles? Yeah. In case you forget.
Yeah.
Dude, they have a bit of budget here.
Mm.
Yeah, no. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Zoc. Bosh. Bort. Smamp. Okay, better or worse than the Star Trek Voyager intro?
Oh, better.
Yeah.
Get at
The Giga Chad chins on these two.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be fully animated. That's cool.
Yeah. That's
Good
a
theme.
60s jam. Yeah, it's a good theme.
Yeah. Memorable.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, here we go.
Wow, look at the intricacy of that.
Nice. Oh, wow. That is a fucking set. Look at that.
Emergency bat turn lever? I mean, it's a good car. I like this car.
I mean, that's one of the cooler Batmobiles I've ever seen. Jesus, they're gonna go.
Wait, why are they 14 miles outside of the city?
Oh, because it's a mansion. You don't have those in the middle of
Well, you can be a little closer if you're fighting crime. Come on.
Jill St. John. Okay, we got freaking Tiffany Case herself from Diamonds Not Forever in here.
Oh, wow.
Already in with the Bone
Robert Butler
connections.
sounds familiar. Did he direct some TOS?
Probably. Peel a bell.
The 60s.
How do you peel a bell? I don't get it.
Dude, look at the way he stands.
God, I hate Robin.
What?
He's not wrong.
He was acting like he's Shakespearean.
I love how 100% Adam West is giving it. He's just like,
He is so locked in. Yeah.
I love how he's moving around. Everyone's just following him.
Can
It's
he even
artistic.
see through that? The Riddler's meat.
It's shaped like a question mark.
God damn it.
Go.
Just running out of the room. It's not quite the turnaround he's disappeared from the comics,
I need
is
to
it?
work out what peeling
Dude,
a
look at
bell
that.
means.
Look at that weathered wall behind him.
Okay, when bells peal, they ring one after another, making a musical sound. Okay.
Okay, well, that's weird. The bat.
Not now, Joker.
God, that is so 60s.
What the fuck?
Right the hang is behind the doors.
Oh yeah, here we go.
It's all labeled. Look at that.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like a kite string. What's the tensile strength of that?
Look, Robin weighs nothing.
Oh yeah, the classic. I love this.
It's filmed on the side. Wow, that's
I
bad.
think I remember this bit. This is funny.
Oh. I can reuse this later.
Dude, that's a giant batarang. Look at that.
It's massive. Oh, it folds. Look at that.
That's the attention to prop detail is very good.
Okay, how are we getting this grey off?
They're just walking back and forth outside the window.
Look at this pimp.
Oh yeah.
They won't notice you
chuck that?
banging outside the window.
Jump.
Watch it jump.
Pedestrian safety.
I think you meant to say chum, but it sounded like jump.
It's definitely
What the fuck?
Oh
my god, really?
You have an emergency door hook suction nozzle on your belt?
Got him.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah, 10 minutes in. Perfect.
Oh, dude, he's looking wildly aroused by this. I think he wanted
he's
to be
into
caught.
it.
What's he doing with his hand?
Oh my god.
Dude, that voice.
A lighter. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh, Riddle.
What the fuck? Okay.
The riddle signal. For what?
Can definitely see where Jim Carrey got it from.
Yeah. So wait.
He's really chewing the scenery there.
Yeah, he's having a good time.
To give him a subpoena.
Yes. The 60s are
Isn't
a little
that
different.
entrapment? Isn't that entrapment?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god, look at that amazing picture.
It's Charles Logan.
Oh, there you go.
Man, this is like a
youthful age.
episode 10 menagerie shit, this is.
Yeah, this is like...
What's pitch stick?
Overside says, fun fact, this show is responsible for rescuing the Riddler from obscurity.
It's true.
Not about money, it's about sending a message, Alfred.
My value.
Wow, he's ready to give up immediately.
I mean, that's very Batman, to be fair. Up the chute.
I love 60s vernacular. Master Dooku is clearly about 35 years old.
Yeah.
Yes, but he's got a youthful voice.
Yes.
He's like, I can't deal with you right now. He does have a bit of a resemblance to Christopher Reeve.
A little bit.
The narrower face, I
Richard
think.
Scott.
I like how they get dressed up just to analyze it.
Yeah, why are they putting on their costumes?
Listen, you need to be in the right mood. You have to manifest.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Whistle.
The whistle.
Yeah.
The whistle.
Wow.
Oh my god.
This is sillier than I remember.
Oh.
To. You call him Jump again, yeah.
I think it's Chum. I think it's just the subtitles being wrong.
Yeah, it's the 60s.
A tool room.
Why does this need a Dutch angle?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, so there is actually a reason
What
for
the
that.
fuck?
Yeah. What, a giant jar of caviar?
A glass jar of caviar.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god.
It's all Dutch angles.
I think they're hiding out in an abandoned barge, and it's listing to the side.
Yeah, it's about to sink.
Release the sump! Release the sump!
Oh, we're going to see
Way
Glover.
to go.
What a way to go. Very nice. Yeah.
Discotheque.
How do you know that? It's fine.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Everything has a bat adjective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those gloves are comically large.
Bat gloves. You can't go into a club.
Do you
and
have to,
can
like...
drive.
Yeah. Like,
I
you have
think
to
he's in
fire
the
up
wrong
the jet
gear.
engine?
I know, it's so loud and he's moving at 2 miles per hour.
Also, you didn't pull it into the log. You just moved it, like a little bit down the way.
Bat eye switch.
switch?
Oh, yeah.
It's bat porn. Actually, that guy behind him does have a sinister visage.
Mm.
Okay, now everything is Dutch angled. What is this?
Gleeps.
Gleeps.
Yeah, your cape. Okay, that's good.
I would love to see this in, like, Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Like, dude, like, come on. Like, where is this now? Where is this now? We wish for this.
Look
The
at that
children
snakeskin
crave
bar.
silly Batman.
Yeah, that's actually pretty great.
A large, fresh
a
orange
dragon.
juice.
Yeah, what do I know her from?
She's in Diamonds and Forever. Like, she's the Bond girl in that.
I shut up overtired.
Batman special orange juice.
Bro, it's spiked.
Yeah, probably. Oh, wow, look at
gulp the whole thing. Like the drug.
Oh, look at those dance moves.
Oh,
Here we
God.
go.
There we go. Why doesn't Batman dance anymore?
Remember the mission you guys are on? Anyone?
Yeah, no, we're having a great time. Don't worry about it.
Finally, I'm free.
You fucking dweeb.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yes.
Oh! Oh.
Oh boy.
He's got a fucking harpoon? Oh my God.
Oh my,
Straight through the
it
heart.
darted. Yeah.
Nope.
Oh wow, that was some acting.
And everyone's just gonna watch this happen.
No, Batman can't stop him. What hope do they have?
Just fireworks?
What is this doing?
Oh, it's the anti-theft activator that he turned on. So it's to, like, draw attention. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Alright, fair enough. You could have just, like, had it set to electrocute him and kill him, but I guess that would have been a bit more,
Might have taken Robin out as well.
This is more environmentally friendly, so.
It doesn't drain the car battery either.
Dude, how many
Why did we
fireworks
close the
do they have
door?
in the trunk?
1 billion.
Yeah, and there's more.
And more fireworks.
That's a lot of smoke. Batter stat.
Just puts itself out. That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. This is a proper Thunderbirds era kind of car. I love it.
Dude, Gerson's giving it his all.
Oh, he's got a little girdle.
My upholstery.
It's in mint condition.
didn't
Look at
It didn't even scorch the leather.
her. Out of my way.
Oh, is he going to drive drunk?
I have. Nope.
Oh my god.
I love law-abiding Batman.
Oh, it's so
Remember,
good.
kids, don't do drugs.
It's been up for like a second. Oh my god. Oh. Alright, time to saw him in half. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Gee Willikers.
Yeah, no, this is a proper G Willikers situation.
What's the background noise here? Like a jet?
I don't know.
Yeah.
A train or
The head clamp.
See, he's quite
oh,
psychotic.
he's a doctor now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite really unhinged. I quite appreciate that.
I don't think he's actually a doctor. I think she just said that because she handed him a scalpel.
You know, I don't believe that man was a real doctor.
So I think I like this. Well, I'll say it in the review. I like this Riddler better than Jim Carrey's version of it because he seems a little bit more unhinged. Oh, here we go.
Oh, not bat time yet. Beautiful.
Wow.
Wow. That was something.
So should we be doing part 2?
I don't know.
This is the question I asked you guys.
We did, yeah. Now we've seen it.
It is more cliffhanger. I didn't know it'd be that cliffhanger.
It was very cliffhangery. I think we'll take this one as it is, and we'll go from there because it's our first time. Maybe if next time it's a 2-part, we'll break them in. But let's do this one for now.
Yeah.
How about we do the actual intro now that we've watched it? So get ready for this. Hold on to your pants. Yes, welcome to the Holodeck, our guide for all things not so Trek that we wanted to watch. And yes, we're back straight from watching the episode into this. I don't know. Start us off. Where do we go from here? This is our first time watching this episode, all of us, I think.
Yeah, no, that was that was an experience. I was not expecting that. In a good way. I had a good time. But we kind of need to break this down because there's a lot to digest.
It really is.
Would you like some behind-the-scenes trivia and production ideas
to
get your minds right and to explain what you just witnessed? Okay.
Yes, I really did. Yeah, I did that.
Directed by David Livingston. Yes.
No, more like David Lynch.
Actually,
so that you know what? If
Lynch could do that.
Start a Batman. All right. So in the early 1960s, Ed Graham Productions optioned the television rights to the comic book Batman, which was not quite the juggernaut that it is now. And their original plan was for a pretty straightforward young adventure show, kind of like the 50s Adventures of Superman, starring Dean Reeves and the Lone Ranger. And it was designed to air on CBS on Saturday mornings. So kind of like good family-friendly entertainment. East Coast ABC executive Yale Udoff, I love 60s by production knowledge. You always get wonderful names. Who is a Batman fan in his childhood, Udoff, contacted ABC executives Harve Bennett, who you might know from Star Trek Wrath Gun, and Edgar J. Sherrick, who were already considering developing a television series based on a comic strip action hero. And they suggested, well, why don't we do a primetime Batman series in the hip and fun style of the very popular Man from U.N.C.L.E., which was the
I used to love that
Bond spoof.
Yeah.
That was I think when it started in 1964ish, 5ish, like that, and like in like Flint, like when that was big Bond mania was like the mid 60s. And in 1964, big film buff Hugh Hefner screened all 15 chapters of the 1943 Batman serial at the Playboy Mansion. And this is kind of back in the day when that was considered acceptable and not skeevy.
Yeah.
When it was considered a bit more high class, as it were. because you had Hugh Hefner and it wasn't all creepy old men. The trendy event received much notice in the press, and Columbia sort of like reissued it in 1965 as An Evening with Batman and Robin, and that kind of groundswell and public notice gave it a bit more push. So DC quickly like stepped in and was like, we can make some money off this, and made a deal with ABC, who farmed out the rights, and then we got Greenway Productions, who you see in the credits there. So ABC and Fox expected a hip, fun, yet relatively serious adventure show. But William Dozier, whose production company Greenway Productions took on the project, he took one look at a few Batman comics and was like, there's no way I can do this seriously. Because I mentioned, like the 60s comics were not nearly as serious as like the 40s original ones, which even then, they were pulpy and noiry, a bit more violent, but they hadn't been that for a good long while. So his decision was, I have to make this a camp comedy. It has to be pop art, it has to be bright, it has to be colorful. It's the only way it's ever going to get any mileage. And that's kind of the reasoning behind what you saw there. It's meant to be bright and colorful. It is not intended to be taken even remotely seriously, even though all the actors are absolutely playing it deadly serious, as you saw, especially with Adam West. So that's kind of a bit of an explanation as to why you saw that. Now, here's a fun little bit of production knowledge. So when this, before this premiered, obviously they tested it out with a lot of audiences to see how people reacted to it. And it received the worst audience test scores in the entire history of ABC.
Really? Wow.
The only reason why it even went on air at all was because so much money had been spent on it. So and if you look at like the Batcave and like the Batman, you can see where that money went.
So this was the original pilots. This is what they showed to the test screeners, and they changed nothing of it.
They were like, "No, we've put too much money into it. We can't refilm this." Like,
why even? We're making it anyway.
Well, because I feel like they were like, well, we're not quite sure what we've got here, because this is a pretty, I almost want to call it avant-garde. I don't think there was much like this in the 60s. Like, this is a little bit,
it's it's
a bit
so
pioneering in its way.
We have about 60, 70 years of worth of cultural knowledge and spoofs of that cultural knowledge, and then meta spoofs of that spoof, going down to James Bond, to Austin Powers, to Adam West himself, going on other things. Like, it's weird seeing this in its original incarnation without having all that sort of knowledge in the back of your head forming your opinion of it. It's kind of wild.
It must have been wild. Like, they must have like thought it was being serious, and it's like you kind of have to be clued in on the joke to kind of even remotely enjoy it, I think. If you try and take this seriously, it's like, you're going to have a bad time. So, funny enough, this did actually save the Batman comics from cancellation. Because even though it had like those awful test scores, this was insanely popular. There were a ridiculous number of episodes, like 3 seasons, a movie. Every celebrity under the sun wanted it on this. We haven't seen any celebrity cameos quite so far. We saw Jill St. John, who I think is not a high-level actress, but I do recognize her name because she was in a Bond movie, so she has a certain caliber. But I think later as we get on, we're going to see a lot of big cameos, like people you are not going to expect. You're going to be like, wait, what the fuck? Why are you here? But yeah, then as I mentioned in the pre-show, as a reaction to this, after it was cancelled, the comics kind of reacted to it and were like, "We're dark and serious. We're very, very men dressing up in bat suits is a deadly serious affair." So it's a big step in the Batman mythos, this series. Even though like a lot of comic fans for a long time were like very disavowing of it, they very much were like, "This is not Batman. This is not an accurate representation of what a multimillionaire deciding to fight crime as a bat would look like.
Oh, I
It could
don't
be
know.
much more serious.
I don't know. I think if you were a multi-billionaire, if Jeff Bezos just went one day and turned around and says, "Do you know what would be Batman?" This is exactly what he would do. He would everything self-labeled.
That would make him a lot more likable.
He would have this peculiar self-designed car. He would go out and it would all be very obvious. Like, look, it's me. I am Batman. You know, he wouldn't be this shadowy figure in the back. No, this is definitely a billionaire's way of doing crime. More accurate than modern Batman for sure.
Absolutely. So guys, what did you think? Like, I got a few. We were laughing quite often, but I'm not quite sure how often that was at the jokes or just in general at the series.
I guess in a summation up front, everything they did in every scene was among the dumber things I've ever seen on television. But about a half of them were like hysterically funny, and the other half didn't quite land. So it's definitely a mixed bag. I only really know actually Adam West from Family Guy, and he does.
Oh, really?
He plays this goofy mayor character. I'm like, oh, he's pretty zany. I wonder how much he's playing it up because it's Family Guy. That's toned down. I didn't realize how zany he would be. Like as an actor.
Pure West.
It's interesting. Yeah, so they play it straight. And you can kind of watch it straight if you want and still enjoy it, or you can just watch it as a big joke and enjoy it that way. I think I'm actually going to watch this as though I'm taking it seriously, because it is. There are enough elements, like they do great work with production and props, like enough that if it was like a joke that someone would make for a YouTube skit these days, they wouldn't put that much care and attention into the details. So that part does help sell it to you, but. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's interesting. Idle. You mentioned you actually kind of remembered this episode a little bit.
I remember the scene, and I don't know why, but just in my head of just when they're outside the grating, outside the window, and they just hang it on the hook. I remember that just being like laugh out loud funny, because that was just so dumb. I kind of agree with the fact that there's been a lot of care and attention into the production, even though it is batshit crazy. This must be where batshit crazy comes from, I'm sure, because like that literally is the definition. Like he has a hook, literally a suction cup hook for putting on the wall that is labeled. Like Batman is meticulous in labeling everything: bat production lever, bat scope, bat fire retardant system. You know, it's all there.
I have to say, I think that's actually way more ridiculous than the shark repellent bat spray. Like, that's the one that everyone thinks of, but like in the very first episode, you've got the the pedestrian safety conducive, like, cage hook he has in the utility belt. That's way sillier.
I am all here for very specific scene accurate bat props. And I'm going to be keeping an eye out for them, because that's brilliant. I like this is only usable in this situation, and I happen to have it, and it is labeled Bat X. You know. So
they didn't touch on it, but does Batman prep all this stuff, or does Alfred do it for him? Kind of like Q and Bond.
In the comics, it's usually Batman is like designed as like he's the designer, the engineer, scientist, like he's the best at everything kind of thing. Alfred usually only kind of contributes like making sure he actually eats. Occasionally kind of military knowledge and insight. He's not usually depicted as like the provider of like, he also has a company in the comics, but I think that actually this predates that, and I think the implication is just that Batman is just really, really well prepared. He's just that good.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's going to need. That's true. Oh boy. All right, well, you know what? I think it's time to introduce our first segment. So I'm going to just go right in. Yeah.
Nope, it didn't.
Well done, Idol.
Professionalism. It should have done. Why did that not work? Best gag. Should have worked. Didn't work. Never mind. Let's just trigger it this way.
Holy sardine! He's not landing any punches.
Hand me down the shark repellent bat spray.
It's a tiny bit richer blend than you're used to, but you'll learn to love it.
Okay, what are we going for with this section? I know, like, I'd just like to give viewers a little bit of coordination. I know nothing about these sections other than you guys have sent me some clips, and I'm like, okay, I'll put it in.
All right, so this segment is all about the best gag, because let's be real, there were a lot of them. It was every single scene had at least like 2 or 3 lines that were obviously designed to be like big landers, and I feel like there's a pretty wide array here to choose from. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the laugh out loud funniest. It can just be the I really appreciate the subtle humor of that, or there's just a certain line that you're going to be thinking about and giggling for the rest of the day. So I'm going to go first, if that's all right, and I'm not going to pick the one you guys are thinking of, so I'm going to make it easy for you guys. So my favorite gag of the entire episode is him going into the discotheque, attracting all the attention. Couldn't be more of like a spectacle. And then
So
the guy
cool.
the waiter walks. Did he want a like a size? He's like, no, I want something. I wouldn't want to attract attention. It's like, bro. And funnily enough, that was the scene that convinced Adam West of like the worth of doing this show, was the idea of a man in a bat suit walking into a discotheque and going, I wouldn't want to attract attention, and just playing it completely straight. And he was like, yes, that is the crystallization of everything I want to do with the series. So that's my favorite. What about you guys? Idle, what's your favorite, your best gag of the episode?
I'm gonna go with the really ridiculous. I was just trying to Google them very quickly, but the really ridiculous riddles that are like school age riddles, like 2 men in a boat.
They're really bad.
They are really bad. 3 men in a boat, and they need to light a cigarette, but they've got no matches. Oh, they throw a smoke over, and then they're a little lighter. It's. I'll definitely go.
By the way, they had to dress up to solve these riddles. Like, what?
It's like when you got your thinking cap on. You need to get your thinking bat cowl on.
I should just mention, Stars, as well. Your trigger should work this time. I had one thing not enabled, but now it is enabled. So.
Fool me once.
Yes. If it doesn't the second time, fine. But anyway, the riddles were definitely of that kind of. It kind of fit the running of very light-hearted. Maybe someone in the audience could solve this and go. And they're shouting at the telly, going, "No, it's this! My friend in the school ground taught me this."
Yes, everyone talking about cigarette lighters and men in boats, which is a very 60s era riddle. Otto, what about you? What was your favorite gag of the episode?
So it was right at the top. It actually set the mood wonderfully because I knew I'd be in for something fun. They have the president of Moldavia, which is like some unnamed Eastern European country or whatever, and they give him like the sash, they give him military medals, and it's such a trope, and it's such like a gaggy gag. It was hilarious. They couldn't have gone with a real country because someone would have written in and been like, my third cousin is from Moldova. How dare you besmirch the country that they're from? So it's Moldavia, and it was pretty funny.
Oh, well,
we've got our friendship cape.
Actually, looking on Wikipedia,
would you like me to check your cape?
Basically is a province in Romania, or Moldova. It's definitely sort of a variation of that, but it definitely tells you of like Eastern European state that has folded since 1966 due to like the Kremlin's influence or something like that.
Of course. So, like, fun little fact, like that opening footage, that was stock footage of I think the World Fair, and they just label it as Gotham City's World Fair because Gotham City, of course, has a World Fair of its own. You know what like kind of stunned me about that? That entire opening sequence has nothing to do with the rest of the episode, yet they spent all the money to have all those people dress up, get all that entire set. Like that, they had to pay for that. That cost. Like they had money to throw at this thing. I kind of understand why they were like, "There's no way we could throw this out."
Although that was a very clever cut, and they didn't need to do the whole set and everything. But like they hand the president the little riddle or whatever, and then it cuts to someone holding it, and when it pulls back, they're back in Gotham, and the police are looking over the thing. That was
good.
So that was a very clever cut. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was actually some good camera work in this overall, with like a few crane shots, and you guys were talking about the Dutch angles. So those are incredible. They are so Dutch. So the reason why that is,
let's smoke on a pancake.
Is you're gonna have to get used to that. Because that is every single scene in a villain's lair is going to be Dutch angled to some degree.
Okay.
because it's designed to imply that things are literally crooked, like a criminal's lair, and to set you unease. And apparently, this was the series is quite well known for its like innovative like cinematography and like a lot of like interesting shots of like there was like some on display here with like shooting people from various different like angles and like getting the villains in certain ways to amplify their villainous attributes. So I'm kind of interested to see how that morphs across the series, but like you kind of see the signs of it here.
Before we move on to the section, I kind of want to sort of highlight the Riddler, because I don't think we've spoken about him. He was unhinged. Like, I kind of loved him in this because, okay, apart from the very camp outfit, he was like borderline psychotic. Like, he had that very serious, like when he had Robin on the table, he was like that point where I thought, actually, fuck, is this going to go into like a Saw situation here? Is he going to cut this fool? Like, he's very kind of psychotic and then goes into maniacal laughter. Actually, and I spoke while we were watching along about like Jim Carrey's interpretation being much more camp. I think he was more campy than this version, which was like actually kind of a good version of Riddler. I'm kind of shocked to say.
Well, you know what? I think that leads perfectly into our next segment, if it works.
In an age when that technology should be able to clothe and feed all of them, they should live like this.
You have failed this city.
I just wanted to say that I'm really, 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 really...
Sorry?
Yeah. Woo! I did it.
So this segment is known as the Gotham temperature check. Or alternatively known as Would You Live Here? So as Batman comics and media and superheroes in general have kind of like matured and gotten darker, you kind of ask the question, okay, who the fuck is living in Gotham City? Like, how low are the housing prices that you are willing to live in you are willing to live in a city with like a billion supervillains, all of whom will just randomly like chemical attack the subway or turn people into clowns or just like blow up a load of children. So the intention behind this segment is to look at what villainous activities went on and go, okay, would you guys live in this city? How from a scale of 1 to the city is on fire, what's the temperature in Gotham?
All right, I'll start us off because I do have a little anecdote here. Some years back, I went to Stuttgart to visit a friend, and I stayed at an Airbnb, and it happened to be, it was, I don't know, like 3 or 4 story building. I was on the top, and it was on top of a nightclub, which they didn't reveal in the listing, which is stupid. And I had a good time with him. We had a lot of fun. But when I went back to sleep that night, from like 9 p.m. until 5 a.m., that club was just like really loud, and I didn't. It was the worst sleep of my life. So presumably, people who live on the street at the discotheque have to expect some level of noise. But then on top of that, we had about a 3-minute sequence of fireworks going off, and then a short pause, and then the Riddler starts a second fireworks sequence in the car. So if I had to live there,
incendiary grenade.
If I had to live in Gotham City, I'd be looking for a different place to rent immediately, because that is way too many fireworks to be going off in the middle of the night.
Okay. Let me take it to modern Gotham, which is a crime-infested shithole that I'm surprised hasn't been condemned on a citywide scale. I think it's fine. Like, look at the glorious opening at the start of the episode. Like, that is the cleanest city I've ever seen, even by modern standards. I've lived in I have lived in worse places. Yeah, fine. The worst thing that happens is the Riddler steals, like, what did the Riddler even do this? He just abducted someone.
He just entrapped Batman into doing illegal crime.
Already quite
he wanted to sue him.
Discotheque.
He was already quite an exposed figure. There's a nice club nearby. You get some fireworks once in a while. It's fine. It's just I've lived next to clubs. You kind of you know what you're in for. You moved in there. It's fine. But yeah, it's a great. I don't know. It's pretty clean. You've got local law enforcement that, well, actually, apparently, are pretty idiotic considering like 5 police chiefs couldn't work out a riddle. We're sitting with their heads in their hands, going, "Oh no, what do I do? We must call this weird guy in a costume to come and help us out." No, I think Gotham's pretty good at the moment. I think it's okay. We're on the level. It's not too serious a crime. Just child abduction. That's fine.
was a very Sherlock Holmes-esque scene where Batman's pacing back and forth and working out the logic of the Riddler and his intentions.
I had to say, I did love like that scene because, like, if you look at like all the other police like chiefs, they're also like walking back and forth and doing a very serious like deductionary pose as they do fucking nothing, and it's just like constantly like crossing each other in lines of logic. It's like, guys,
I tell you what,
on.
that reminds me of like a Naked Gun or like Police Squad scene. Like it's very much in line. Like Frank Drebin walks one side, they'd walk the other. He'd walk the other way, and they'd like make you. It was just missing that little bit of camera attention of them following him, but it was there.
I feel like the intention is still there, but yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, if they'd have done like a pull focus at the end of that when he solves the riddle, like that would have been chef's kiss. But
yeah, I think this Gotham's all right. Like, I think if you compare it to like any other Gotham you've ever seen in any other media, like no civilians got hurt. Like, the only people who got hurt was like two crime fighters, and it's like, well, you guys kind of put yourselves in that situation. We haven't really seen any. Like, there was a mob, but they didn't really do anything. They just kind of sat around, played cards, and drugged a Batman. That's about it. Like, I feel like on the duped. Can we? Oh my god! Like,
it was very Homer Simpson-esque. Doped.
You know what? That leads me into our next segment.
I swear to God.
Swear to me.
And I swear.
Swear to me.
Swear to me.
That's gonna get me every single fucking time. So this is, if you guys have watched our Treks or any of our other reviews, like the idea is very similar to the Red. There is a lot in this episode that I think I'm going to take with me to the grave. But if you had to pick just one image, one line reading, one joke, one bit of imagery, what would you pick? Idle.
It's definitely going to be go to the evil people's underground hideout, and there's a girl in the giant orange dress eating out of a giant jar of caviar.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Like, is this an indication that they're a rich gang, or is she just into this? And it's even labeled a jar of caviar. Like, it's that just stood out to me. Like,
ridiculed as if that's going to make her fat. Like, it's caviar.
Yeah, and it's just like, of all the most ridiculous things that have happened this episode, which from what I hear are fairly tame in comparison to more Batman stuff. Just someone just decided, okay, let's have her eating out of a giant jar of caviar. It was wild, just crazy. Yeah, that's my and I swear.
Thank you.
I don't think you guys know how this segment works here. I swear I'm not drinking anything from a bartender that I didn't watch him prepare myself.
You know, that's not a bad pick. But like, can we? Like, the Batman special is a large fresh orange juice.
I mean, Worf had prune juice, so it's
didn't
not
call it the Worf
completely
special, did he?
inconceivable.
Yeah, but it's just like, you know, it reminds me of, it does actually remind me of Bond walking into a bar and everyone, he says his name, everyone knows what his drink is, despite the fact that he's meant to be a spy.
Where are we in Bond lore here? 1966. What's come out already? Has anything?
Thunderball has come out.
So we're early Sean Connery. So Bond isn't that. Well, it's a little bit into the cultural osmosis at this point, but not as.
Oh no, he's big by this point.
Oh, is it?
Like, the parodies have
it?
begun.
Okay.
Yeah, because like that really started with Goldfinger, and then Thunderball was like the capitalization on that. So Bond is very, very popular at this point. So I feel like there's maybe an inspiration there, because like almost every single version of Bond, with the exception of Craig, yeah, they walk into a bar and everyone knows what their drink order is. So the fact that the bartender knows to give them a Batman special is pretty hilarious.
That's Stars. What do you swear?
I swear. Oh, there's so much to pick. I swear that Gotham has... Yeah, no, can we... I swear that Gotham City does actually have the nicest police department, because they see Batman, they think he's like drunk off his head, and they're like, you can't go driving off, Batman, not to risk your oven, and they take the keys from him very, very solemnly, and it's played like a kind of like a tragedy, and then like the bat signal goes off, and like the other police people are looking at their watch 3 seconds after the signal's gone off.
Yeah.
And it's like, better not tell him, and just played deathly serious. Like that was really, really funny.
That's the thing.
Like
I'm
that,
actually
I'm
kind
gonna
of
remember for a
intrigued
while.
of how he's going to get out of this, because obviously we've left it on the cliffhanger here, and it's just like, okay, he's drugged up. What's he going to do? Have a large cup of coffee and go, right, old chum, it's time to get you back.
Ah, beautiful. All right, so.
Apropos of nothing, I'm looking through the credits. I want to shout out Alan Jaffe, who was the bartender. He was in 10 episodes of Gunsmoke, 12 of Rawhide. He has among the most sinister visages you've ever seen. Like, as soon as you saw that guy, you knew he must be a bad guy. It's all like pockmarked, and he's got like the chiseled jaw and stuff. So that was a good cast.
Yeah, I feel like I probably saw him as a gangster in a million. I think he's got the kind of the face for it. All right. Right, I think the other two segments don't quite apply.
Bad Boy can
we have
so many segments in it.
We have many segments, and I kind of want to introduce them all because it is our first episode, but I don't feel like they're really appropriate. You know what? I'll sit on those for the moment, and I think we'll head right into.
I can show you my rating code.
Schiller rating 3.5. Associational rating norm -3.
That's much too low a rating.
Just not accustomed to seeing an unsatisfactory rating on a member of my crew.
All right, so guess what? That clip is too good. We're not changing that ever. That's our Schiller rating stands. Gentlemen, you have had ample time to prepare a rating criteria. What are we rating this episode out of?
Do you have one? I have one.
I have a couple, but I'll defer.
It's on the nose, but this fucking episode was entirely up the nose. So, gentlemen, how many OSHA-approved rebar window cage safety hook slots on Batman's belt out of 10 is this episode?
That's good.
That's good.
OSHA-approved window cage safety hook slots on Batman's belt.
Window cage safety hooks. Okay.
Not the hooks themselves. The fact that he has a slot dedicated to it on his utility belt is like the cherry on top.
Idle. Let me hear your
okay. So
how many OSHA approved cages?
My pre-rating was 7. I'm gonna downgrade it ever so slightly to 6.7. Because this was good. I feel like we're on the cusp of unhinged madness to come. I'm here for the unhinged madness. I feel like we got a taste of it. We got examples of the the crazy labeling, the unhinged acting. I feel like Adam West was just like, okay, but I could do more. I feel like there's something more going on here. The plot was a bit confused. The fact we started off, like you mentioned, with a Moldavian almost assassination and went on to the Riddler trying to subpoena Batman in court and then just abducting a child who was 34 years old. When you break it down,
now when you put it like that, it sounds silly.
Yeah, which it is silly, and that's intentional. But this feels like it's a little bit confused somewhere. But I did enjoy myself. I feel like this is good, so I'm going to go for 6 out of 7 OSHA-approved window cage safety hooks on Batman's belt out of 10.
Beautiful. Auto, hit me with your rating, because like you had this at a very cautious 4.
Yeah, it is a little better than that. I'll give it 5 OSHA-approved rebar window cage safety hook slots on Batman's belt out of 10. There were some stretches where I'm like, what the hell are we doing? They get dressed up to go do riddles for 2 or 3 minutes. I thought it like really dragged. They're like reading children's nursery rhymes and stuff. And then that sequence where the Riddler is ostensibly trying to escape, but he keeps like trying to sabotage the Bat car in the meantime, and he's lighting stuff. Oh, that didn't work. Let me try this. And they keep cutting to him, and he's giving reaction shots. And so, yeah, the plot, such as it was completely unintelligible. But that doesn't really matter because there was so much zany action. The action bits were great. Adam West throwing himself into the part was good. Like, I was going to say you buy it because he buys it. No, you don't buy it, but you don't need to. It was like he does do his best to sell it. It was good. I don't know if it could hold my attention every minute of the 24 or whatever, with 23 minutes. So, but there's definitely it's looking up. I could see and just absolutely loving it. So, 5.
Go stars.
All right. So I gave this a 6.66 for 1966. I'm going to bump this up to 7 OSHA approved window cage hooks from Batman's utility belt out of 10. I feel like this kind of hit right on my sense of humor. The only bits that really didn't land for me were the riddles, because they just felt like complete non sequiturs, and like there's a balance to be struck there. You don't want it to be too obtuse. You don't want it to be completely nursery rhyme, and I feel like it kind of erred a little bit too close to nursery rhyme while still being unintelligible. But everything else, like everyone was completely committed to the bit. It is so stupid, but it knows it's stupid. Nope. Like fucking Adam West is a treasure. Just
he's
playing
unique.
it
Very unique. In a good way.
deathly serious. It's one of those things where it's like he is the. No one else could have done this. I don't think. Like maybe that's part of the reason why they've never tried to do it again. Why they've never really gone for like. Maybe that's part of the reason why Batman and Robin doesn't really work, because George Clooney is no Adam West.
Is the only production between this and Modern Batman Keaton's? Is there any?
Well, there's Keaton, Kilmer.
No.
Clooney.
What I mean, what I mean is between Keaton and Adam West. Did they not do any other Batman production? I don't know if they did.
I don't really feel like they did. No, not really. There were cartoons and stuff like that, but live action productions, not really. Yeah, it was like 1989 was like the big resurgence of Batman, and like after The Dark Knight Strikes Again and Batman Year One in the comics was like so well renowned. I was in tune with this. I feel like you can tell this is the one that I picked because it appeals to me the most, and I'm having the most fun with it. I feel like there's more to come though, because like this is like the Riddler feels a bit more like the Joker here than what I kind of come to expect from the Riddler. He's a lot more manic and giggly, which I naturally associate with the Joker. So I'm not sure if that how are they going to make the Joker feel unique in comparison
I think the
to
Joker
that.
back in this day was a lot more of like a cunning gangster as opposed to the unhinged madman that you'll sort of see in the Heath Ledger, and even Jack Nicholson was a little bit more hinged, a bit more restrained than what we know from like modern Joker.
Hinged.
Yeah,
a little bit more hinged.
Put on the bat hinge, as it were.
But yeah, like I was vibing with it. I feel like, especially, I want to see how the second half like comes together, and if it's gonna be a case of that'll really solidify for me. If it's a case of you need to kind of watch them as a full hour if to really appreciate them, or if they are best enjoyed in 30-minute segments. Namer in with the wonderful trivia. Each episode costs around $75,000 to $100,000, which is over $600,000 in today's money. That's a lot of money, actually. When you think about it,
like you could film it like round the corner with a few extra props.
But could you?
Well,
like,
apart from the car, I reckon
the
car
There's a
was
lot
probably
of
a lot of the budget.
And
The
also like the
props
whole like the Moldavian bit, like the ritzy like museum bit, like nothing really looked cheap. It looked ridiculous, but it didn't look cheap.
Yeah.
That's kind of the difference.
Plus, they're always going to eat the costs up front for something that they reuse later, like the Batcave. It's going to have a higher budget for those first few episodes. None of us really have said anything about Robin yet, but let's save that for part 2, because I think we all have opinions on that, and we can unpack them next time. Same Bat channel.
Yes, indeed.
Damn right.
Okay, if you're on stream, sorry, Gustavo, you got some more. Sorry, before I seg us out.
I was going to say, what sauce have you been taking?
Yes, I did. Our overall average for this episode is a 6.2 OSHA approved rebar window cage safety hooks on a Batman's belt.
You know what? That's up there with Telosian Illusions of a Horse Named Tango.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Always the
I think
first
it's an
one.
auspicious beginning.
Especially the first like, Andromeda one, which was sexually confused by a bug autos. Which
that bug was pretty dishy.
That was a pretty good bug.
But hey, if you're ready, spool it up, Bat Idol.
Indeed, yes. So, if you're on stream, stick about. We're going to watch episode 2 in a minute, but if you're watching on the review, we'll see you next time on this Bat channel at this Bat time. We'll see you later, Funky Cats.
Say Batusi.
I can't really... So, at the end of Trek, they have like, live long, prosper, hurrah. At the end of the Andromeda ones, it was like, stay, whatever. What are we doing here?
Stay groovy.
Stay groovy.
Stay groovy. I like it. I'm here with it. I'm here.
Please equip your bat whatevers for your bat situation. We'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, right. Let's.
Oh, yes, it's for the children. I'm
Appropriate.
I'm a role model.
He has a role model. Right. Let me set up. Let me change the episode title.
Is Batman a role model? Do we feel like Batman's a role model?
No. What's the next one called? Smack in the middle. There we go.
Hi, diddle riddle, smack in the middle. Yeah.
Isn't like 3 and 4?
Oh my
also
God.
play on that?
Okay. Do you want to know what the summary is for this one?
Hang on. Let's get into. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Holodeck. We are now continuing our watch through of Batman, starting with episode 2 stars. What is this episode about?
So I've literally just cracked this open, like, with completely blind. So smack in the middle. Summary: the Riddler schemes to have his henchwoman disguised as Robin to have her kill Batman in the Batcave. The implication that he thinks that this woman is going to be able to convincingly pull off Robin says some interesting things about what the Riddler thinks about Batman and Robin.
Can do what to Robin?
I don't know. That was... There's some energies here. There's some interesting energy going on. This show is weird. This is episode 2. This is episode 2.
This is very much episode. This is very much a second episode of something here.
You know what though?
What we got for this episode?
Already, this is better than Charlie X though. Like, come on.
That's a real low bar.
Yeah.
Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay. So should we do pre-ratings?
Yeah. Go for it.
All right. So I don't even know where to pitch this. Like, I went with a 6.66 for the previous one.
So read out the description again, just so I take that in again.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize that you couldn't pass out the insane bat logic of this bat show. The Riddler schemes to have his henchwoman, who is disguised as Robin, kill Batman in the Batcave.
And that's everything. That's all. That's all that's in the description.
That's all they give us. That's all IMDb thinks you need to know about this episode. To be fair, that's a lot to digest.
Is it gonna get sexy? Do you think?
It already is.
I don't know. I mean, we've got Jill St. John right there, and Adam West is pretty dishy.
Is this going to be like a bit more farcical? Is this going to be like, oh, Robin, you look a little
more farcical than what?
Okay,
not wrong.
But if we can have like an Inspector Clouseau style bumble around the Batcave, that sounds pretty like fun to me.
All right, I'm looking at the IMDb photos. I see them have like custom underwater breathing mouth prosthetic things. I don't know, maybe that's for gas or something. And then I see something labeled mobile crime computer.
Not background
that just shows you where crimes can happen.
Their prop work is undeniably on point at this point. I'm going to bump it up a little bit after being mildly pleasantly surprised. I'm going to go 6 mobile crime computers out of 10 for this
pre-rating. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. That was what, 6? Was it?
Yeah, he went for a 6. I think I'm also going to go for a 6. I feel like I don't know how many of these are part 1 and part 2s, but these definitely, I think, working as a 1-part thing works better. I don't know if I approve of Batman having 2 stories and 2 episodes. So I'll go for 6. I'll go for a sensible, sane 6 to bring some normality.
I think this is going to be ridiculous in the best way. That summary has me excited in a way that I've not felt excited about a Batman piece of media since like the Pattinson Batmobile scene. So you know what? High bar clear.
You're comparing this to like modern Batman. It's got me excited as like, you know, Heath Ledger's Joker. Like what?
Guess what? This is an under. I'm gonna turn into a defender of the series. You watch it. So I'm gonna go for a 7.5.
Sorry, 6.5.
Well, you know.
Okay.
A 7.5.
Oh, 7.5.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Crime detecting computers.
Yes, like mobile crime detecting computers. Absolutely.
That's right.
Okay. Spool up your Amazon Primes or whichever streaming service has this production on for you, your DVDs, your VHS tapes, or your mobile BAT DVD player. We are going to go. Let me just
pull up your hieroglyphics.
Yes. Pull up your Adam West interpreter mobile, whatever. Okay, let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No.
In color.
I forgot to do the sticker. That's a
Wow.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the parachute.
The rascal.
Do you think this narrator's doing it live?
Maybe.
I forgot about the little suit.
Oh yeah.
Batman let him pull his
look at
gun out,
him.
point it at his face, and pull the trigger. That's not very smart.
That's what got Adam Baldwin into a lot of trouble.
No,
That's not a great shot.
Yeah,
Okay.
all 4 of them.
Can we interpret some of these for like Star Trek? It's like, and Kirk was on the planet, and McCoy was captured by the by the natives.
You know what? There are some episodes of TOS that if you stopped halfway through the episode and summed it up, you
Yeah.
would get some ridiculous bullshit.
Their name's right, not even Technicolor. Just color.
Just color, yeah. He hasn't got any eyes there. It's a little bit worrying.
They've got play buttons.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But
It's a bop. I'm just saying. I'm
It's-
just saying, man.
it's iconic.
All right, let's get in here.
Smack in the middle. With you.
Special guest star, the Harlem Globetrotters.
Frank Gorshin.
Special
Where's the
guest
music?
villain.
That's a great credit.
Robert Butler again.
All right. Okay.
Hang on. So they have someone in the house that doesn't know the secret. That's like a
Yeah, that
massive
seems like a
liability.
bad setup. Yeah.
Oh, paper mache.
What the hell?
Oh,
Oh my
okay.
god.
Yeah.
So what was the stuff with the scalpel?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, that's a weird.
PTSD.
Yeah, yeah. The bat trap.
That line is incredible.
The bat trap.
Do you think you ever have to worry about like sweat stains in that? Like there's not a lot of
Hey, cancer.
Just sprays him in the face.
Riddler.
Wow.
There's no cold days in August anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Robin seems to be a bit of a liability here.
Is this Commissioner Gordon, or is this before that?
Yes, yeah,
Right.
that's Gordon.
I don't do
believe
anything.
so,
When
no.
anything problematic happens, I just phone Batman.
Oh, into the bat line. Is he still
Why is
drugged?
it
Like,
so
what's going
far
on?
away?
No.
Yeah, there you go, old chum.
Oh, very good. More spraying.
Other than labeled A and B for like wake up and knock out.
It's just canola oil.
That's the same spray that caused all the atmosphere to the ozone layers.
Yeah, all those CFCs. Of course.
The old turtle mill. What?
Turtle mill? Okay.
It's a terrible mill.
I love that he's got a license plate on the Batmobile. Like he's fully, he's compliant with the law.
They reuse all the same footage for the
yeah.
car stuff.
Like 18,
oh, but they do
kind
actually
of.
bother to not have Robin there, which is good.
Oh god, they're not
Well,
going to.
this is going to be a great
feels like
Oh
cut.
no!
Oh, hang on. Is it
Oh
gonna
my
be...
god! That's Robin. What
Okay,
breasts do you have?
Yeah, no. What the? Through the magic of film editing. How is he going to get really?
This better not
'Cause
awaken anything in me.
All right.
Yeah, they're
Thank
10
you for
miles
telling
from
me.
everything.
That's an RC
Wow,
car, isn't
he's
it?
not driving
Look at him go.
safely.
I think it was Overtide and pointed out that this was shown in black and white on a small 10-inch TV, so they would have had to label things so people know what they are. So maybe give it a bit of slack for that. But
well, it's also just funny.
You can't even read those though; they're that small.
Also, 1966. I think most people by that point would have had color.
Screen.
Yeah. Oh no, I love
Detectoscope. This is peak. I don't care what anyone says.
Good music. Kind of.
Oh, I used it.
Emergency back to. Oh my god! What?
Dude, Bond wishes.
That's not how. That's not how that works.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god!
The bat ray.
Bat ray? What the fuck?
What's going on?
The best thing you've ever seen in your life? Bat ray project? Oh my god! What?
Dude, he's got a kit from Knight Rider.
He actually does a little bit.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
That's Looney Tunes
That's
crash.
very good.
Yeah, that's good shit. Good. Wait, that's a massive car. Like the latest.
Dude, how big is that car? What the fuck?
Why don't we just run him over?
Why would he
My
bat ray
Robin,
knowing
what
this
shapely
is
legs
Robin
you've
then?
got.
Dude, look at that tiny little.
Tiny little baby thing.
He doesn't even use it.
He just beats him awake with it. Robin, wake up!
Old fella. Robin, you put on a few pounds.
Especially
No,
in the
I've
chest
not.
area. Bitchin' car.
Yeah,
Like, for real.
Batman
There
is
you go.
spray.
Just give him a lozenge, you'll be
Do you know,
fine.
they must
We've
have
just
based
been
this
driving
car.
for 10 minutes.
They must have based this car off of something, mustn't they?
Yeah, it's based off of a concept car,
Yeah.
which are usually like extremely extravagant and beautiful, but not really designed for practical use.
Universal drug
Universal
antidote.
Wow. Oh, shoot. Blew her load kind of quick.
Oh, he knew all along.
Oh, there you go. What's this?
Okay. Yeah, fine.
Well, Oh my
Laser.
god!
When did he have time for this?
Laser.
Laser beam. Oh, boy. Oh my god!
The car's powered by nuclear energy? What?
He's just
I
got
did.
a
They
big
use
reactor.
atomic
reactor.
batteries. Is she just gonna die of radiation poisoning?
What's going on?
Okay.
And she just used the ladder?
Why does he have an exposed nuclear reactor in his bat cave?
Keep off atomic pile. Oh, she's freaking out. She don't like it.
What is this noise?
It's the nuclear reactor, I guess.
Why?
Pretty sure this is a level in Half-Life.
She wasn't even falling.
Oh. Wow,
I hope
okay.
she's dead.
Okay, Gotham is melted
mean-
down now. She wasn't in trouble. She climbed up a ladder. Oh my god.
Did he say go-go?
He did say go
Yeah, he
go.
did!
This is awful. That was what the fuck?
That was beautiful. That was incredible.
I don't think I've ever seen something so
Not even a
unhinged.
good recording.
Oh my god, what? Oh,
Right.
yeah,
There's the
there it
mobile
is.
crime computer.
Wow, it's on a
You're
treadmill.
getting a punch card.
Wi-Fi.
Actually, yeah. US and Canada crime computer.
Yeah, fuck the rest of the world. Yes, by the way, Batman, about that small nuclear reactor you have in your cave.
Don't worry about it. Hi, Batman.
There's an advert for Gotham
This
City
was-
Beach. Bat cage. Oh
It
my
was a
God.
back ache.
I
I'm
need to
sorry.
stop being amazed by what bat things there are, but
It's only going to get better. It's only going to get funnier.
More obscure,
Th-
yeah.
There's
Look at that
120
poster.
episodes.
Fun time. Visit Gotham
it was a
City
laser gun.
Beach.
It's not a bat laser
The
gun.
bat laser gun.
No, it's just a laser gun.
They had to freeze. They had to freeze the shot for that effect.
No, she's Half-Life now.
By the way,
Uh, You're barely restrained.
he's Belly from "Let That Be Your Last Battlefield." Frank
A little
Gorshin.
bit.
Mm,
Oh wow. Okay. Nice.
yeah.
Whoa!
What the
That
fuck?
was quite the explosion.
Yeah. No.
That was like
What? Oh my god! What?
Oh my God.
What? Did you have to?
Transparent aluminum. Where's her
And they're all
random
like just
bed?
leaving. They're done. Yeah, they're done.
Dude, nothing makes any sense.
No.
Yeah, what about the lawsuit? What about the lawsuit?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. These rails kind of suck, to be honest. Naturally.
What?
Dude, that needs to be a drop on our
Oh
channel.
my God. Oh my God.
Oh my god.
We've come a long way since the Prime Minister's exploding cake. The problem is I need to stop laughing because I'm missing equally other hilarious stuff.
Oh, it actually came up.
Oh,
Okay,
Moldavians.
okay.
Oh.
Holy red snap. Oh, dude, he's looking fresh as fuck. Did you see that?
The climax dinner.
That was some drip.
Dude, Riddler's drip is out of control.
Yeah, no, he's ridiculously
Look at that
gorgeous.
mammoth.
Like,
Even the
wow.
mammoth, like
They have a stuffed elephant.
the mammoth of Moldavia.
The famous mammoth.
Dude, they brought it back.
and elsewhere.
Eyes and
Why is it that eyeglass? It's like a fucking one of those frostums.
Ancient postage stamps?
Dude, my brain is melting with every line.
There's so
We
much going
stuffed-
on. Okay.
We stuffed
Oh, here
this
we go.
elephant with ancient Moldavian stamps, which have accrued in value over time.
Okay, but look at this
Yeah,
king.
no, that's pretty good.
Look at
That's
that.
very good.
Dude, that's fresh as fuck. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
That's a good color combo.
yeah, like good God.
Dude, they stick him in a shitty green t-shirt for the rest of the episode, then he shows up looking like a kingpin.
Mhm.
Yeah, for real. Blowing nitrous on. Yeah, thank you for labeling the air vent. That's nice.
You gotta know.
Air vent. Also air vent.
Yeah, that's the spoof version, isn't it? A little spoofy.
Yet another air vent.
Dude, he's got the elephant mask.
Pause to laugh.
Oh, the slide whistle.
I don't think that grate was supposed to fall off.
Yeah, that's good.
Dude, this is very... You remember that scene in Bale's Batman where they're at the dinner party
Yeah,
and
yeah. I was thinking about
Joker's like, want to see how I got these scars?
that. Yeah. Man, I might watch that again soon. That's really good.
And no one notices the billowing gas. And the pink socks as well, like... Oh my god.
What's going on?
He's drugging them with laughing gas and telling them awful jokes.
Okay. Yeah. He's looking pretty good considering he had a cake explode in his face.
Yeah, no, he's doing it right. A gunshot. Okay, wow. The amount of explosives that have gone off in this series. I'm sure that's all OSHA approved smoke.
I can see where all this budget went.
Yeah. You can see where they spent the money.
I like the matte painting in the background.
So we're stealing the
World's
mammoth.
Fair. This is supposed to be outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're stealing the mammoth? Oh, because the stamps.
Yeah, just got priceless jewels and the stamps. Yeah.
The Trojan elephant.
For fuck's sake.
Incredible.
Naturally.
Oh, we're gonna get a good.
Oh,
yeah, here we go. Crunch.
Crunch.
Zlonk, clonk.
Crunching people. Nice.
Ouch.
What?
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Zap. They're having too much fun with the sound effect guy is having too much fun. Like, do you want to stop him?
I got all of those hits.
That slide whistle. Whoa.
Viper.
I gotta say, this would have definitely improved the English language for a lot of people.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Oh,
dude, all the multicolored smoke.
I'm sure all of that is really good for your lungs.
Oh, okay, we're good.
House possessed?
There you go.
Oh, okay. He's fucking dead.
Yes.
A skeleton in a nuclear reactor.
They must have had. Yes. God, I actually forgot about that and all the other madness.
Oh,
here we go.
Wow. Dude,
Oh
I
my
love
god!
that. Look at that overlay.
Only because she was dressed as you, Robin. No, there was none of that.
Dick being exposed.
Clip that. Clip that.
She died in your nuclear reactor, and I can't believe I'm saying that.
Like a puff of smoke.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
The only thing I can surmise is that Dick Grayson is some like special needs child and he's there for outreach, and Bruce is just some like unhinged carer. What the fuck?
Oh god.
Oh god, pause. Oh god, stop. Oh no, gotta press the wrong button. Ah, right.
You.
That's okay, because we're now going to go into... Okay, welcome back to the Holodeck. We have just watched episode 2, smack in the middle, and oh, hang on, time code's still running. You know how I thought that like episode 1 was completely unhinged? How is this worse? How is this more unhinged? All right, okay, I'm
I
going to
wouldn't say
start
it's
with
worse. Definitely more unhinged, though.
No,
By the way,
I was
you
gonna
were
say,
right.
yeah.
This is where the phrase "batshit insane" comes from.
absolutely. Stars, I'm not going to steal your hosting duties, but I am just going to very quickly label the because we had the typical Batman fight sequence with the bash bash. I would like to label the I'd like to make this maybe a recurring segment. The effects. What was the word used earlier? The
onomatopoeia.
The onomatopoeia, correct. That appeared on screen. So we've got crunch, clonk, capon. We had
Zort.
ouch. We had wham. We had zap, zock, biff, and then finally zwap.
Zwap is a whole. Zwap is.
Well, we've come a long way from the Prime Minister's exploding cake.
That I feel like that. Yeah, that was it.
So, you know what? I don't know if this happened because I don't have the trivia for it, but I so deeply want it to be the case that Adam West said that on the set, and then everyone just behind the scenes just fucking creased because what the fuck was that line?
This entire episode was like, what the fuck? I mean, okay, they did eventually kind of bring it back round to the
I was stunned.
The lawsuit, which was surprising. But no, stars, please.
So, you know what? I feel like we need some time to recover and process what we just watched. Especially, the tragic death of Molly in like a nuclear accident.
She wasn't even in trouble. She wasn't. There was nothing wrong. She climbed up a ladder.
She gave
and
up on
fell in.
life. She just gave up.
Oh no, I'm trapped. I'm cornered.
Dude, that whole sequence, she climbs the ladder, and then Batman's like, no, I'm going to save you. Instead of climbing the ladder, he gets out his batarang, he slings it toward the wall, he slowly, ascends on wires unsteadily. That was hilarious. He lands on top of her, and then she moves toward the reactor, waits for his reaction, and then throws herself in. And it's like, what is going on?
Any Star Trek we watch after this is going to be high art.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because the thing is, the question I have to ask you guys is was that a joke or was that deadly serious?
It's weird because if you just said this is
because I thought that was hilarious.
This whole show, we don't know.
This is weird. This is the weird thing I have with this show is that because I don't know, it's not intentionally a comedy, but we're treating it as comedy because we know better. No, but we know better. So, but if you were to watch this purely as a comedy, like Austin Powers level comedy, and she fell into the reactor like that, would it be as funny?
I mean, I think that's what they're going for because of how overwrought and deadly serious and deadpan Batman's reaction is. He doesn't give a fuck, even though you're meant to believe that he does. But Adam West is clearly a capable enough actor that he can sell tragedy, but he's like.
We've got to place this in context because we are not the generation when this came up. This would have been a family fun, entertaining thing. And okay, a lady has dropped into a reactor and died, and Batman goes, "Oh no," and you put that on paper, and that's fine. But on the scale of modern comedies, like we're used to Austin Powers, and where this is unintentionally hilarious, And like
That's the thing.
the
You
story.
keep on saying unintentionally. I think that's absolutely intentional.
You could be right, but
Dude,
it's on the
yeah.
scale of like Airplane. You know where Airplane came from? It came from a very serious film about basically the same plot and structure. I forget the name of the original film, but basically they
from
took
the airport, but that's not important right now.
Exactly, yeah. They took that, basically changed nothing about it, added a few gags, and put Leslie Nielsen in the main role, and it's unintentionally the most hilarious thing in the world. And it's about perspective. In perspective at the time, like
I think you're overthinking
I
it.
probably am, and it's crazy. Sorry.
So you know what? I actually do have a bit of behind the scenes trivia that kind of dovetails with this, this trickiness on how to interpret this high art masterpiece. So originally, SBR's novelist Eric Ambler was to have scripted a TV movie that would launch the TV series. However, he dropped out after learning that Dozier, who is basically the head of the production company, was going for a campy comedy approach. And that dovetails into the fact that they had they screen tested for Adam West and Burt Ward, and then another pair of actors called Lyle Wagner and Peter Dale, one of whom would come back in a later role. So I feel like the fact that they didn't have West and Ward in mind, well, they probably had them in mind, but they were like, there could be different ways to play this. I think that they must have known what they were doing here. They knew what they were making. I don't feel like you script and then the literal mole of the mob called Molly climbs up the Batmobile's atomic reactor, gets freaked out, and apparently gets affected by radiation sickness, and then falls into the nuclear pile and dies while Batman monologue.
And then she comes back as a ghost at the end of the episode.
Anyone you tell that to is gonna start laughing. And I think that's the intention.
I don't know if it was, though. I feel like this is of an era where, like, you've got the Jetsons, you've got, like, TV was at its infancy, and it's like, okay, what can we try? How can we get, like, 24 minutes of, like, intense action in one episode, play it for somewhat laughs, but keep it family-friendly, but introduce all these innovative things, like a nuclear reactor, because Batman would have one, but obviously, if it was a coal fire, would be like, oh no, that's tragic. It's because it's a nuclear reactor, and with our scale, you're right. I am overthinking this. I don't know why I'm hooked on this. It's crazy.
I absolutely think it's an intentional comedy. But you know what? I feel like the wheels are falling off this Batmobile, so I need to keep us focused. Let's lead right into. There's gonna be a lot of contenders.
Holy sardine!
He's not landing any punches.
Hand me down the shark repellent bat spray.
It's a tiny bit richer blend than you're used to, but you'll learn to love it.
Guess what? When they wrote that scene, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew that was hilarious. And I think that's the same with the rest of this episode. So, gentlemen, what is your favorite gag of the episode? And there's a lot to choose from. I feel like all of us are probably going to go straight on. There's a exploding cake that all of us want to jump onto. So, you know, I'm going to be nice and I'm going to hand it off to Otto. What was your favorite gag of the episode?
Ironically, the clip kind of foretold it. It's the weird. They didn't even explain what it was. Riddler just had a spray of something used to both wake up and knock out. It had both effects on Robin. Like, whatever you need that spray to do, he just sprays it in someone's face and it works. So that was hilarious. And it was so casual too. He wasn't even looking at him. He just sprays him and that was hilarious.
Oh, it's so good. And then label A and B as well, which I love. Just like he knows exactly which one he wants.
Oh, did he have two different? I just thought he used the same one for both.
No, just A and B. That's
okay.
Like big red cans. Like you have to have them labeled properly.
Okay.
A for awake, B for back to sleep. That's
yeah. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, that's the logic. Idle. What was your favorite?
Okay, you think I'm going to go with?
By the way, Overtired in chat says Idle is just trying to say that the show is thought provoking. Yeah,
I'm voting a lot of
actually-
things. Thought is not one of them.
I'm thinking a lot.
Yeah. You think I'm going to go with a nuclear reactor? I'm not, because that just baffles me more than makes me laugh. I'm actually going to go with something quite soon after the spray. Is the fact that the paper mache mask that Molly then puts on and turns into the exact shape and figure of was it Burt Ward? Burt Ward.
Burt Ward, yeah.
Yeah, and just like turns around and is like, ha ha ha. I think that's probably like my best gag. And the fact that Batman sees, like, I saw through it right from the beginning because I saw the straws coming out of your mask. I'm like, oh my God. I quite enjoyed that. I enjoyed the farce they kept it at. Like, that was.
Do you remember? You guys remember the DS9 episode of Man Alone where Ibudan stages his own death and then he has that perfect mask that pulls off? It's the same mask. I think they have the same tech.
It's the Mission Impossible tech.
Go on.
God, there's so much to choose from here.
I have a second
want to go
one,
with like
but
stuff.
I'll let you go first.
I kind of want to jump. I kind of want to jump on the idea that Batman managed to destroy the firing pin of her revolver using the bat laser in the Batmobile.
Which we didn't see.
The laser. But you know what? That's just amazing. So I'm gonna have to go with. It's the labeling, like air vent, and just like
also
everything labeled perfectly so, and just it's high art. Like they're talking about, they call it a pop art campy comedy.
Except he didn't label the nuclear reactor, which he probably should have.
It was labeled. Not labeled. Like, it did have a danger sign on it.
Not OSHA.
But let's be real. It is just. We've come a long way from the Moldavian president's exploding cake. Just all three of us just died.
In 50
minutes. Laughing.
I gotta back up a bit because this is actually kind of. I can see everything's stupid. This is even stupider. He uses his watch laser like to burn it, but we don't see it. So isn't that just terribly lazy storytelling? Like, how did you find me out? Oh, I just did this thing that no one saw during the scene that you just watched. Isn't that like the worst kind of lazy get out of jail free storytelling you could possibly do?
Only if you regard every single Sherlock Holmes story ever written to be that. Because they all do that. Every single one of them has Sherlock Holmes go, oh, I did some specialist research while Watson wasn't around, and now I know this thing. Or I know
this is on.
It's the same
you're
logic.
Watching this on TV. Like if you read a book or whatever, you can excuse it as, oh well, they
But they do it in every adaptation as well. Like every Sherlock adaptation does that.
But it's lazy.
It is a common trope of like
lazy.
we're not going to talk about the tropes thing here, but it's a trope of like the hero solving the crime in a flashback essentially, or in something that's explained later. It happens.
Well, it's how you set up a genius or a tactician easily. It's a get out of jail free card.
It's a bit
you
lazy.
Have to be so smart that you didn't even see them do it.
It can be lazy. I'd like to fast forward and sort of like just go through my second favorite gag, which was as the Riddler's trying to explain his best plan. Fucking Batman explodes out of a mammoth. Can't even say that on his straight face. Like just like it's a bam, he's out there. Like what the fuck?
And it's a massive explosion as well, like from a tiny little oak thing. And it's like
the thing is, I'm still recovering from everything that's happened before. And like bam, Batman out of a mammoth. Like what world am I in where I'm saying that sentence? Like, I don't know. I think it brings me joy.
As well as they jump down the hole.
That kind of brings me joy that I can say that. Like, it's so random and unhinged. I kind of love it.
I think that's the appeal of the show. It's just like every single scene, you immediately forgot what you just saw because you can't quite believe what you're seeing now. And I feel like that's kind of the appeal. Pardon me.
But for the great explosion work when he breaks into the Riddler's lair and you just see giant breeze blocks blowing out from the wall. And
that was legitimate C4 use.
Batman's got C4, yeah.
Like, we're not fucking about. We'll kill the Joker with a puff of smoke, but break it into his lair. No, we're blowing the whole shit up. Like, let's go. Stargate TV.
By the way, we kind of blew past it, but the director Robert Butler, which you said is known in Trek. He did The Cage and then The Menagerie.
Oh,
so,
wow. Man's
kind of
previous.
Yeah, kind of a cornerstone there of classic Trek. It was interesting again. It wasn't quite as the flair on the directing and the blocking and camera shots wasn't quite as high, I think, in this episode. But they still, dude, it was like insanity though. The explosions of prop work, like your neck is snapping from going back and forth, and whiplash, and the pacing was super high. I think they stop for about 30 seconds to recount a couple riddles, and then they go immediately back to insanity. So. It was almost too much. Like my head still.
It literally was.
Yeah, it's like eating a super rich chocolate cake. Like you end up just like kind of sitting back going, "Whoa, jeez, oh boy." But you know what? With the amount of explosions that we had to deal with there, I feel like it's worth like talking about.
In an age when that technology should be able to clothe and feed all of them, they should live like this.
You have failed this city.
I just wanted to say that I'm really, 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 really.
Sorry?
Yeah. Woo! I did it.
The amount of explosives that went on in this episode, and like the guess what? Like when they talk about the atomic batteries on the Batmobile, you're like, okay, yeah, that's a fun reason to explain why it can, jet propel everywhere it wants without having to worry about fuel. And then someone just dies in it. I'm going to be looking at that nuclear reactor for the rest of the series. Like, there's a skeleton in there. You can't get it out. How are you going to get the skeleton out? You can't get a hook down there to pull it out. Molly's skeleton is just sitting in the nuclear pile for the rest of the series.
So this section is the Gotham temperature check. This is the...
How would you want to live in Gotham after what you've just seen? Actually, you know what? Like... Again, it's all fine. Very contained. Yeah, it's still kind of fine, actually, because, like, you don't have any massacres. Like, the worst that happened to any civilians was they got laughing gas and told some bad jokes.
I've changed my mind. No, it's not. There is an unregulated nuclear reactor in a cave of an eccentric billionaire, essentially, just hiding there that could melt down at any moment because there was no covers on that what's it called? Deep water? No, heavy water. That's sitting there. It's just unhinged for anyone to fall into. That could melt down at any moment. No, I want to get the fuck out of this city. I'm out. Like, that's just no.
You're worried about Gotham having a nuclear accident.
So, all right, the Bat Cave is what inside a mountain, right? Because he drives out of the base of the mountain
underneath Wayne Manor.
When he gets in the car. So the exposed nuclear stockpile is presumably somehow contained by like being inside of a mountain. On the other hand, the poor impoverished country of Moldavia has suffered 2 terrorist attacks in as many days. First with the exploding cake and now the exploding mammoth. So I feel like that's a much less safe place to live than Gotham. Therefore, I'll say for our temperature check, I would rather live in Gotham than under threat of terrorist Moldavian
that's
activity.
Filled with stamps that are only appreciating their value.
Yeah, you know what? I was when Batman and Robin just burst out of it, I was expecting a thing of we switched out the mammoth. Like that would make sense.
No.
They just destroyed that country's like priceless artifact, and like those incredibly valuable stamps just went everywhere. Fuck Moldavia's economy.
They did say Trojan mammoth.
Wait, why did they build a mammoth in the first place? Why did they stuff it with jewels? And then why did they fill it with stamps?
Eastern European countries don't question
it. Wait. They said the stamps weren't worth as much when they put them in there, but now they've appreciated in value. So why did they fill them with worthless stamps, but also jewels for eyes? This is...
They were stopping
Nothing makes any sense in this episode.
Somebody got fired for that blunder. Yeah, I think they said like it was cheap stuffing material, and then it became valuable over time. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't quite follow the logic. I don't, because it was a mammoth of great national importance, and they were poor at the time. I don't.
Every time says we explained I think we were laughing too much. Maybe that was the problem. We'll have to watch it again. But you know,
Yeah, because a lot of that Moldavian scene, we were just giggling over the exploding cake. Because, good lord. Oh my god. I don't know. I feel like, again, like, still, Gotham is still relatively safe. Like, no one, like, the only person who died here was a criminal falling into a nuclear pile.
I mean, if I was an innocent
Sleeping.
citizen and I didn't know about Bruce Wayne's, illegal activities regarding nuclear safety, then yeah, that's fine. It's a nice city. There's nothing to worry about. But
Yeah, they keep it clean. Yeah, like, you're sorry about the Ant and the Mammoth, but, like, crime has to
it's
pay.
a diplomatic incident. Moldavians, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, no, I love that, like, Bruce brings up, it'll be a bit of a diplomatic incident if we had let it go through. It's like, what, so destroying their priceless mammoth wasn't? I guess they were fine with that? Weird. Oh, boy. Okay. Gentlemen, I have to bring up, because, like, in our next segment, because I want to talk about someone who is integral to this episode, right?
I swear to God.
Swear to me!
And I swear.
Every time. I swear, Frank Gorshin may well be my favorite Riddler now. Because he's just the right level of unhinged.
Yeah.
And then he just there are those moments where he just goes completely dead cold. And it's a little bit psychopathic.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that overplayed energy of Jim Carrey. He's not an obvious Zodiac ripoff like Paul Dano. He's not like, there's just like an air of, I don't want to say realism, surrealism, but he also makes sense in a way.
He's good.
Like, yeah, that's
like
the
him as
Riddler.
well. I'm with you.
Yeah,
on this.
he's fun. Yeah. He sells it. He works. I buy him as a threat.
I think there's
but
a lot
also
of Genesis,
just as a buffoon.
I think there's a lot of Genesis with him with like modern Joker. I think there's a lot of what they took from this version of the Riddler into the Joker that would eventually sort of fuse the two characters eventually, which is quite good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of backed off from some of the elements that you see in this Riddler, and they put a lot of them into Joker, and they made... I know they have in the comics made Riddler a good guy at times, where he's just like a detective agency kind of thing, which is kind of an interesting idea. But yeah, he's a lot less threatening than in here, where he's like... How often do you actually see the Riddler throw hands with Batman? Not often. Not often. Whereas here, it's like he was getting in on it with all of his guys as well. So,
the Molehill gang.
Is there anything you gentlemen would like to swear?
I swear the next time I play Half-Life, I'm going to think about that exposed nuclear reactor because it looked like they had, what's it called? Like the levels to it.
Yeah.
The grid, the metal grid, you can tell where they like worked on the reactor and moved up and down on it.
That was probably a photo from 3 Mile Island. Like
Probably. It was probably stock footage, but it looked like a video game level, so.
The production design so good.
I swear that Bond girl whose name I've forgotten, what's her name?
Jill St. John
Jill St.
is
John
the actress who plays Tiffany
amazing
Case.
Robin. Just her transformation. Just turn around and is like, oh, it's Burt Ward. Okay. Like, no, don't worry about it.
You couldn't tell whose legs were whose.
Yeah.
I'll concede. Maybe Burt Ward had really amazing legs back in the 60s.
Yeah.
But did he have Jill St. John's legs? That's a question I have to ask.
I mean, after her falling in the nuclear reactor, he very well could do.
I mean, she had very slim legs after that. There's no flesh left.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic, holy shnikes is Burt Ward. How do you find A, the character, and B, his interpretation of, or his acting, let's say?
He's a good comedic foil, I find. Like, he does an amazing job of setting up the punchline for Adam West. I don't think he's not likable, really, because he's such a Josh G. Willikers asshole. I would hate to stick around him. Like, Bruce Wayne has, like, Adam West has, like, a good degree of charm and charisma to him. Whereas Burt Ward is just a little bit too... I would want to shove him into a locker. But he's fun as a character and a foil. I find him funny like that.
It's interesting with him in this scenario because, like, if you were to just have Adam West without him, Adam West could absolutely pull the show off without the Robin character. Like, you don't need the Robin character here. He's mostly someone that needs saving that just adds a whole sort of like catchphrase element to this show. I don't know if I like him. I don't think I do. I feel like I find him more annoying and more of a hindrance than anything else. He's the damsel in distress more than he is the useful companion, other than, I know a few riddles, you know. You
were about to say whittles.
Riddles, I did, unintentionally, but yeah.
Whittles I did.
Actually, that's a good point. I think the catchphrase aspect is probably underrated. If you're writing a show, you need to get something that breaks into public consciousness, something that will get word of mouth to spread. And even today, the Holy Something Batman is like a
Holy Showcase was pretty good. Yeah.
So, you know, even if they're like dumb in isolation, the fact that he sticks to the gimmick and then people start repeating it probably helped them out long term.
And you know what? I feel like there is like a degree to him where it's like, if you did just have Batman on his own, he would have to get into jeopardy a lot more. Like, he'd probably be the one getting taken, like, you know, character, and that would diminish him as a hero. And having someone that he cares for, that he has to take care of and protect, and like show paternalistic, like, I feel like that does help the character, because otherwise you get the problem that a lot of other Batman media falls into, where Bruce Wayne is just a boring, misanthropic asshole who beats up criminals all day and doesn't have a warm feeling in his heart. And it's like, especially the 90s cartoon really drilled into the idea that, Batman is a Cape Crusader, he's a vigilante, he's the vengeance, he's the knight. But because of where his trauma comes from, he should never be scary to a child, because it's like, he was a kid who lost his parents and went through the worst thing possible. And so a child should look at him and go, that's a person who will keep me safe. And I look at Adam West Bruce Wayne, and I'm like, that's the guy who would keep me safe. I believe in him. He seems like he's on the level.
This Batman, apart from one very brief line in the first episode, we've not actually had that childhood trauma. At the moment, we just know him, and the average viewer, if you just tune into episode 2, which you would, you just go, oh, this Batman show, okay, I'll tune in. You just go like, oh, he's an eccentric billionaire who dresses up as Batman. You don't know the childhood trauma angle. You don't know why he takes on Robin as his surrogate ward. It's a different sort of viewpoint. Whereas every other time you pretty much read or know of Batman and Robin's relationship is just like, oh yeah, and God knows the films do this more often than not. It's like, oh yeah, mom and dad died, and then obviously I need a surrogate child that I'm just going to be, like you said, in the modern comics, like he is very grumpy and mostly ignores. That's why he's had like about 16 Robins in 4 years.
Yeah, it's true.
So the character is very necessary for the reasons you said, for the reason Overtire in chat said. You need someone you can bounce story points off of and explain them to the audience. But he is really annoying. He's kind of like when you want to hang out with your friend, but he has to bring his younger brother along because mom said so.
That's what it feels like. Bit. Yeah.
And also, he was 21 at the time of the episode, but his voice sounds like a 35-year-old trying to sound like a 21-year-old. You know what I mean? Like he sounds like an older guy
like Burt Ward. He sounds like he was born 60.
So I don't know. Not my favorite, but I understand why he's there. Actually, reminds me of Jack Bauer's daughter, Kim Bauer, in the early seasons. Is so she's so annoying because she keeps getting into bullshit situations that if she had an ounce of intelligence wouldn't happen, but she has to be there so that Jack can split his attention, can try to save her and then be foiled by the bad guys so we can stretch out the story.
Season 3 Kim Bauer for the win.
No, they're all bad, but that's neither here nor there. I do prefer Robin to Kim Bauer, so I'll give him that much.
Robin or Kim Bauer, that's the new metric.
That is quite a metric. All right, so speaking of other characters, let's move on to another segment.
I don't know how you're gonna get it through all that.
Don't worry. She's got help. I'm in.
My hero.
So, the idea behind this segment is taking a look at... Guess what? The way that they solved the crime here is idiosyncratic. I don't think I've ever seen someone solve violent crime in quite the same way that this Batman and Robin do. So... if you had to look at other superheroes or characters, or maybe even like say characters from a Trek show, how would they have solved this? I don't even know. How would they even survive in this world of insane cartoon logic?
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I wasn't listening. Are we doing? Did you say Star Trek characters?
Well, yeah, I could include. Like,
I
Star Trek
thought
characters
we
are
were
kind of a
doing
hero.
other heroes to try to solve other superheroes.
Well, that also. Yeah, guess what? Just talk about other characters who could have solved this.
Okay.
Just to expand the pool.
Okay, I'm going to take your analogy of Sherlock Holmes. I feel like this is very much like a Sherlock Holmes would have done pretty much all the same things that Batman would have done, except the exploding mammoth. He would not have exploded. Him and Watson would not have exploded out of the mammoth in the same. And actually, now I think about it, like Sherlock Holmes and Watson is very much a Batman and Robin, like kind of analog. They've definitely taken that kind of stereotype, except Watson was actually quite an intelligent person with his own merits, being like a war veteran and all sorts. But I would definitely see that Sherlock Holmes would have solved Riddler back in episode 1 with the subpoena and goes, haha, I knew this all along, and would have reversed the whole situation upon him.
Yeah, he would have deducted. He clearly, obviously, he was not holding that man up for his cross, even though he was holding a gun to his face. You see, and that kind of thing. Yeah, I could see Holmes doing that. Yeah, you're not wrong. And Watson would have been like, "By Jove."
Yeah, exactly. How did you know that all along? Yes. Oh my God.
The excuse to do silly voices at this point. Also, what about you? Any other heroes you could see solving this?
I'm so bad. I only know like Gambit and Superman. Those are like the only two superheroes I know.
That's a wild mix. Like Superman 5. Gambit?
He throws cards. That's very memorable. So I tried quickly Googling what Green Lantern's ring's power source is, and I couldn't find out, but I assume it was the nuclear stockpile that Batman had exposed. So I like to think that after Molly committed suicide in his nuclear reactor, he used it to supercharge his ring and then create a giant force field image of a hammer that smashed into Riddler's lair, and that's how he got in. So
I'll be saying that
he would have solved it pretty similarly, but he would have, reduce, reuse, recycle corpses in your giant nuclear stockpile.
Are we saying that all future Green Lantern appearances of his ring power is just Molly manifested?
Yes, powered by the corpses of people that fell into his trap.
Oh,
this is horrific.
Shout out Overtime in chat saying the Flash would have solved it by running very fast. He would have.
Yes, it's true. Yeah. So I feel like if modern Batman would have tried to take a attempt at doing this, they would have everyone at the Moldavian World Fair thing would have died because they would have been incapable of resisting doing that. I feel like the mammoth would have been padded with C4. But non-lethal C4 to create a non-lethal explosion.
Hang on. What? Non-lethal C4? Explain that to me, please.
I say that because in Batman Arkham Knight, you can hit people with a tank. No, you can hit people with a Batmobile that is the size of a tank, and it just tases them, and they fly off into buildings.
I've not played Arkham
but then
Knight,
you look at them and they're fine. So, like, modern Batman loves to do incredible shows of violence and then stipulate, but it's not lethal though. So that was how that would have been solved.
C4 that's non-lethal is B4.
Very good.
So since you opened this up to all characters, not just superhero, I'd like to think that in the depths of Moldavia, Ace Ventura would have, instead of exploding the mammoth, would have exited through the rectum. If you remember, he stuck his head through the
oh my god,
through the end of the elephant.
Oh, that is my favourite scene. I remember watching that when I was a child. That was like I was creasing at Ace Ventura, like coming out of the rhino's arsehole. Like, oh
god!
Which actually would have matched the level of energy of the rest of this.
Speaking
episode,
of, actually, here's a question for you, Otto. How would have Jack Bauer solved this particular scene?
Would he just shot them all?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, he would have just led a one-armed raid. Actually, he probably would have captured Riddler at one point and then just tortured the information out of him because he likes torturing the bad guys.
That'd have been a whole 42-minute episode. In real time.
In real time. Yeah, it's like, can you imagine like the dramatic clock beep, beep, and then just like
my god, there's a cut that needs to happen of Batman 1966, but with the 24 clock. Yes.
Oh. How has that not happened? We need to look that up. If that hasn't happened, Idol, you have to cut that together. That'll be up there with your Strange New Worlds like recut with Fate of the Heart as a. So we have one last segment, which I don't know how appropriate. This seemed like a good idea at the time, and I want to show off the clip.
Damn, who could have pulled this off?
You idiots! These are not them. You've captured their stunt doubles.
I forget what this entire segment was meant to be.
This is for our Treks, where we put another cast in place of.
Right.
Yeah, I think that the idea didn't really survive contact with this show, because how the fuck does anyone else do? How the fuck
we were not prepared.
Does anyone else? We were not prepared. But just like only these characters can solve this problem. Really, like. Who else? Does the crew of the Enterprise know about like 222 Glover Avenue and about like the Mammoth of Moldavia?
No. I've got it. I've got the perfect cast. Okay, right here it is. Here it is. You're gonna disagree with me wildly, then you're gonna think about it, and then you're gonna agree. And it is, instead of Batman, you have Tuvok. Instead of Robin, you have Neelix. And there it is.
No, because he never would have bothered to save him. He wouldn't have tried to save him, and then
Tuvok would have.
Harry Kim, I think, might be a bit better pick, but because then he has an obligation to a junior officer to save him.
No, Tuvok loves Neelix. Look at him, he waggled his foot at the end of when he went away. Like,
I think our review is starting to make less sense than this episode.
I think we're in awe of what happened.
We're still in shock.
We're still in mourning for Molly, really. We're still just thinking about that nuclear pile. Oh my god. Alright, you know what? I had to go and like create a shrine to that poor woman. So let's go ahead and
I can show you my rating code.
Schiller rating 3.5. Associational rating norm -3. That's much too low a rating. I'm just not accustomed to seeing an unsatisfactory rating on a member of my crew.
So, gentlemen, do you have a rating criteria, nuclear or otherwise?
I have a couple of them.
Okay.
I tell you what, we'll present them, and then Stars can pick the best one.
I like this.
All right, go ahead, Idol.
Okay, I have how many nuclear reactors with inadequate safety rails, which feels very pedestrian now that I think about it. It's probably the most sensible thing that's ever been said in this last half an hour. I also have how many Batman jumping out of a mammoths, which are my two, probably my two.
Exploding out of a mammoth.
Oh, sorry, explode. No, I'll accept that amendment. Exploding out of a mammoth. Those are my two suggestions.
Auto, hit me with your best shot.
How many North American attenuated crime computers? Apparently,
I forgot about that.
They can only do the U.S. and Canada.
Oh my god, I think that wins already.
He's got one for Mexico over there. You just can't see it.
And I also have how many Moldavian postage stamp collections that outperform the Dow Jones Industrial Average out of 10.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's the winner. That's the winner.
Go on. What was that again?
Gentlemen, how many Moldavian postage stamp collections that outdo the Dow Jones Index out of 10?
Okay, there we go.
They accrued in value.
Most postage
for some reason. I don't know.
Postage stamps that
outperform the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I don't know.
Outperform.
It has to be the industrial average. That makes it way funnier.
that's probably my new favorite. All right.
Oh, okay. Idol, hit me with your best shot. Come on.
God damn it. Do you know what? I want to give this a really good rating. I really do. Like, because I had so much fun watching it. It was unhinged.
It was really good.
It was completely random. And you know me, I love that kind of shit. Like, so it did wrap around the plot as well from part one.
Yeah.
Very vaguely, but it did do it. In the most unhinged of manners. You're gonna crucify me. I'm gonna give this an 8.5. I kind of loved this because it was so out there. And I didn't think... I thought episode 1 was out there. I thought, okay, they're setting the standard and this is how they're going to evolve it. And they just went, no, let's get more batshit insane. And just explode out of a mammoth. And drop people into a nuclear reactor pile. Like, fine. Okay. I think it might be the most unhinged half an hour of television I've ever watched.
And yet there's 118 episodes left to go. So that's 8.5 watts?
8.5 Moldavian postage stamps that outperform the Dow Jones Index average out of 10. Whew.
Incredible. Auto, how did you find this?
It did. I think I said this recently for something else, but it does feel like it would be at home as like a Robot Chicken 11:30 p.m. skit or something. It was a little too frenetic for me. I did like that there weren't too many down moments, but getting toward the end, I'm like, what the fuck? Let me breathe for like half a second before you move on to this next insane gag.
I mean, the fact that they C4 the Riddler's entrance and it was a huge explosion was just like an entire thing by itself that would have occupied our heads for like an average episode.
And he didn't ignite it with a match. He had to do it with a laser beam.
Yeah, and that was the most minor
Which
thing
immediately
of the
went into the double-sided glass gimmick. Where he's drawing on it and shit and pounding on it. I'm like, it was really frenetic. And like I said, I hated the fact that, how did you know? Oh, I just did this thing that you didn't see, even though we just did that scene. Fuck off. You're showing me all sorts of batshit insane stuff. You couldn't also have included that. Like, just, I didn't like that. It was cheap. That being said, it's heating up, boys.
It's been a while since I heard you laugh as hard as you did about the exploding cake. We all creased up at that.
It's better than I thought. Like it's funny. It's unexpected. Of course, how could it possibly be expected? Anything in this episode is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give this 7.5 Moldavian postage stamp collections that outperform the Dow Jones Industrial Average out of 10.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I feel like I'm with Idle here. I'm going to have to give this 8.8. Moldavian postage stamp collections that outperform the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I had a feeling that the second half was going to be where it was going to get really insane, because the first half was pretty nutty. It was wild, but it was all just set up. That's all it was. It was just like it was a half-hour setup for a half-hour joke, and like I just could not stop laughing. And I'm gonna take that scene where Molly falls into the nuclear reactor, just like she did.
You know, it's the funny thing. It's not even labeled "Bat Nuclear Reactor." He just looks up and goes, "No, not into the nuclear reactor."
And it's like that.
She was just like, "Oh, that's what it is."
The car. He just keeps that to fuel the car. That's all it does. I guess maybe it provides power to the rest of the Batcave, but what the fuck?
No, just the car. The Batcave is solar.
Just the car. Yeah, clearly, this is a very green superhero. But it's, like Frank Gorshin was acting his ass off. Like Adam West was having a great time. I'm never gonna forget this episode as long as I live. I laughed really, really hard.
I bet you will forget about 80%. You'll remember a lot, but you'll forget about 80% of what happened. And when you watch it again, you'll be like, what? How did I forget all this stuff?
I feel like this definitely would reward a rewatch, because like you were talking about how frenetic the pacing is. I feel like if you watch this, like you're gonna start falling apart at other gags that you were just like too busy recovering from other gags to enjoy. Yeah,
me and my wife watch Airplane. We must watch it like once every year, just as like a ritual. And every time we will find a new joke in it. Every time.
Bob never has coffee before noon.
Yeah. O'Brien never has coffee in the afternoon.
Yeah, I know. That's how she solved the episode.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes, I do. Okay.
So but just for clarity's sake, by the way, so that was, you gave it 7, was it?
7.5.
7.5. Idle, you gave it a 8.5, and I give it 8.88. So what does that average out to, Idle? How many?
We are at. You know what? This is a pretty strong showing. This is an 8.3 for pure, and I'd like to clarify this 8.3 of just pure enjoyment. I feel like we've had a blast just watching it, and I feel like we can have our metrics and we can have our ratings, and some of them rating can be like, oh yes, good intellectual episode, really speaks to us, and some episodes could be like, you know what, this is hectic and just fucking funny.
Yeah. I want to do so much more of this. Like, oh my god. Oh, there's so much to chew on. It's a very chewy series, but
just as a kind of,
I'll leave that
in
in your
light,
court.
you know, in times like those, we all need just something light just to relieve us, just like something just insane, just to go like, oh yeah, that's
which ironically, they actually mentioned the name Trump in this episod. I'm like,
okay.
it's unescapable.
Trump,
yeah, even in 1966, like.
Let's not date this.
Oh my god.
Okay. Business concluded, gentlemen, or any final words?
We are doing at least a run of the first 5 of this.
Yes.
We
might have to do the first 6, actually, because like they're 2-parters.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So for Holodeck enjoyers, we're currently juggling Andromeda, Twilight Zone, and now Batman. So we may be switching between those for the foreseeable future.
Okay. Otto, your mic's just switched randomly, but okay. Yes. So
Don't worry about it.
For people on stream,
I can't speak. I was sprayed by the Riddler, and so you're gonna have to
sprayed by your low latency.
Yeah, no,
spray.
it's Molly wearing a mask of Auto. It's going to us now.
All along. That's a gag we need to do.
I knew always.
Stars.
I don't know if I have that level of resources for a gag. I wish I did. I wish my paper mache mask was that effective.
No, okay, I'm not going to say what I'm thinking. We will be back. For people on stream, we'll be back tomorrow night. Come and watch us. We're continuing our Summer of Voyager in October, December, January, March, April, May, wherever.
What episodes we got lined up for, Auto?
Auto, what's next?
Extreme Risk and In the Flesh.
Ooh, Extreme Risk.
Extreme Risk is fucking good.
If you're on stream, join us tomorrow night for that. If you're watching the review, catch it up. It'll probably be on somewhere. If it's not, check the review. Check the live stream section. It'll be on there somewhere. You know all that. Come on, you know what I'm doing. We'll be back. No. Batman. See you next time.
Stay nuclear.
Yeah, we will.